Hello YouTube, welcome to the first of my stats videos for 2022. I've got loads of other videos half made, in progress, but it's been really difficult to get time enough to finish them all. So this one's going to be pretty quick, and I'm really hoping to get one of the others out in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that one. But for those of you who are interested in stats, how much we're making and stuff, this is the first one for 2022. So let's get straight into the figures. So we generated 287 kilowatt hours in January, and that is really good for a January. It's been particularly sunny, and that makes up for the awful December that we had, where it was like really dismal and grey. If we look at the previous year, January, we only generated 153 kilowatt hours, and this year it's 287, so that's more than 100 kilowatt hours extra over the previous year. Now if we look at the pie chart for where the power came from based on each inverter, we can see that nearly 12 kilowatt hours came from my shed mounted solar, which I didn't have in the previous year. But even if you subtract 12 kilowatt hours from 287, we still got more than 100 kilowatt hours than we did in the previous January when I didn't have those panels. So an exceptional January, really, really good, very nice to see. Long may it continue. So yeah, going back to the pie chart for the breakdown of where the power came from, obviously most of it still comes from my roof mounted array on the house, because it's by far the biggest. What's that, 172 kilowatt hours from there. The wall panels are doing really well now because the sun's really low, but it's just come up enough to clear my neighbour's house, so now I'm getting full on production from those. Yeah, you can see that nearly 22% of all the power came from the wall mounted panels, and then the rest was from the smaller 1 kilowatt array on the roof. Let's look at the generated power and how much of it we managed to use. So we managed to keep nearly 94% of it. That's not bad going. We only exported 6%, slightly higher than I would like. I wanted to keep it around 5%, but that's only a small amount difference, so that is pretty good. Let's compare that with the previous year. And we can see that, in the previous year, we only kept 91%, nearly 92%. So we've improved from the year before, so that's really good. And then let's look at the energy mix. We can see that the grid provided 71% of all of our power, and we provided 28% of the power. So that's really good for January. More than a quarter of all of our power came from solar, which is fantastic for this time of year. You compare that to the previous year, and you can see it was less than a quarter in previous years, and even though we used about the same. So yeah, fantastic January. And let's look at the last pie chart. This is where all the power went. So you can see that a big chunk is going in the immersion, because I'm heating all the hot water using electricity now. I'm not using the gas to do that. And if we compare that to the previous year when I wasn't doing that, you can see that the immersion is a tiny amount compared. It's like 6 kilowatt hours went on the immersion in the previous year, but this year it's 143 kilowatt hours, so massive difference. But obviously heating the water from electricity, I'm obviously not using as much gas, so it's a bit of swings and roundabouts really, but it's obviously much better for the planet because my electricity is all green, and so that's no CO2 production to heat that hot water. What else have we got? Nothing particularly of interest yet. Gaming is quite a big chunk. My son was home from university for Christmas and didn't go back until pretty much the end of January, so for the whole of January him and his brother were spending large amounts of time on their consoles, as teenagers do, and so yeah, gaming was quite a big chunk of the power usage in January. I expect in February, now that he's gone back to university, that will probably halve, but we'll see. So we imported a total of 682 kilowatt hours in January. If we compare that to the previous year, it's about the same, 622 in the previous year, 682 this year, and that's not bad considering I'm now using electricity to heat the hot water, which I wasn't doing in the previous year. So obviously hasn't made a huge difference on the number of kilowatt hours we've imported, and that's only due to the fact there's been such a great January. I think otherwise you should notice that difference. The best day was on the 30th of January. We generated 25 kilowatt hours on that day. Let's have a look at the graph. And there we go. Yeah, that was pretty much a perfect day. It's obviously wasn't a completely blue sky day, but mostly so. Nice little curve there. All the inverters managing to provide something to the total, so that's good. And our worst day was the 25th of January, and we generated just 0.4 kilowatt hours on that day. Let's have a look at the graph for that. Yeah, minuscule, but that's what you'd expect. Little peak of around 230 watts. So yeah, it must have been a very grey day. Okay, now let's have a look at the half-hourly breakdown of power usage for the month of January. You can see that, still only importing power at night time from Octopus Go, which is 5 pence a kilowatt hour between midnight and 4:30 in the morning. And there's a few places where we ran out of power and started importing in the evening, but for the most part, again, we charge the house batteries up from the grid at night when we know it's not going to be much in the way of solar, and we run the house off of that for the day, so that we don't have to pull anything from the grid during normal daytime rates. We didn't have any off-grid days. We always have been pulling from the grid, so no off-grid streak for January, and that's it. Okay, well, that's it for the January stats. It's just quick, like I say, because I've got quite a few other videos I need to get finished, and there's limited time now that I'm having to go back into the office, etc. Now we're all done with the whole COVID thing, which is nice. So yeah, I will try and get one of the other videos out in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it should be an update on my progress towards going fossil free this year, where we're at with that, and what steps I'm taking so far. So stay tuned for that one, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.